Off by saying congratulations on this album. I've had a chance to sit down and listen to it, and it's an absolutely amazing album. So congratulations.
Thank you very much. We've done our very best.
So tell us a little bit about the time working on this album. Did you guys have any goals or anything when you were going into this album that you wanted to achieve, or was it just one of those albums where the ideas kept flowing, so you went with them?
Leif is the main writer of the songs in Candlemass, and I think that we all, in a way, wanted an album even better, or at least as good as the Door to Doom one. So that was the main ambition. But when you're writing songs, it comes out from your visions of music in a way, and Leif's been working with the songs for 18 months, and to do a even better album than the Door to Doom.
I was going to ask
if it's possible.
I was going to ask you about that. The working on the album for 18 months, is that the first time ever in your career that you've had that long to work on an album?
Yeah, I can only speak for myself. As I told you, Leif is the main writer, and he's been working on the songs for a pretty long while. And it works like this. He's at home writing songs, and he's calling me up and wanted to go to the studio and make a demo or something, and then he brings the songs back, working more on them. And so for me personally, when I'm doing the vocals, I just do a couple of demos together with Leif, and then in the very end I just put on the final vocals. But that does not take such a long time to do.
Leif is such a genius when it comes to songwriting. Does he continuously surprise you when you hear his work that he brings to you each time?
Yeah, actually, I've been writing a lot of songs myself, privately, my own stuff, and I used to say that Tony Iommi is the grandfather of heavy riffs. But Leif is not that far behind. He has done a lot of great heavy guitar riffs, in my opinion.
So tell us a little bit about your own writing. What's been inspiring you to write recently?
I've been writing songs for all of my life, since I was a kid, actually. And I've had a couple of bands when I was young. And, then I had a pretty big family when I was very young. So, but I've always had a home studio wherever I've been living, and it comes and goes. But sometimes I've been thinking, will this ever end? But now I'm pretty much 60 years old, and it still comes to me.
You mentioned there that you had a very large family. Where did your interest in music and songwriting come from? And like you said, you were writing as a kid. What age did that start?
I think in the very beginning, it all began when I first heard Sad Wings of Destiny with Judas Priest. That album really caught me in the very beginning, and I had a couple of friends. We were just sitting down listening to, the old records from the late 70s and the 80s. And that's when we all wanted to start our own band. And so we did, we did a couple of covers in the very beginning, but pretty soon I said that I don't want to do covers. I want us to do our own songs, and in my family, pretty much no one is into music in the way I am. My grandfather used to be a hobby musician when he was young, so maybe I've got it from him. I don't know.
Yeah. So back then, did you think that you would still be doing music at 60 years old, or was it something at that time that you thought that would just be for a little while and that you'd move on to something else?
No, I think I knew pretty soon that this is something for me. You know, writing lyrics and things. It's I don't know. You can say it's a kind of therapy in one way. But it's so amazing writing songs because the only limit is yourself. So it's an amazing thing, and I just love it. And you know, when you see something out in the world or in your neighborhood, or sometimes you think a lot about it, and then maybe one day it just becomes a song in one way or another. So it's a part of me, for sure.
Definitely. Now, the last few years have been pretty strange years right around the world with lockdowns and things like that. Can you tell us a little bit about what you guys did as a band during that time when you weren't able to tour?
Yeah, you know, most of us, except for Leif, we've got our ordinary jobs, so we're still working full time. But we did a couple of live streamings, and that was actually pretty much it during that time. It was closed everywhere, and it was a kind of a big thing to do this live stream shows as well. So, but we did 2, if I remember right. Yes.
Yeah. And is that one of the reasons why you got so much longer to work on this album as well? Was that an opportunity to really take your time and create such a masterpiece of an album?
Yeah, I think so. In a way, absolutely. Something bad is happening, something good comes out in the end. We couldn't do all the shows that we usually are doing, so absolutely, Leif had more time at that point. So, for sure, yeah.
It's a very personal album as well, with some of the topics that Leif actually looks at on this album. What were your first thoughts when you read some of his lyrics for this album?
Yeah, we've been talking about it. You know, to me, it's just parts of life in a Leif Edling dress, and yeah, we haven't been digging that deep into it, but you know, when I'm singing, I see things as parts of life in one way or another, and to discuss the dark sides of life could be scary for some people, but you know, you have to talk about it.
Yeah. And that makes me think that a lot of people will listen to this album and relate to it. There'll be people who listen to this album who have been through those emotions that are on the album or are going through those emotions. Do you think you'll have a lot of fans reaching out to the band to talk about their personal stories that this album might help them with?
That would be awesome. But I don't know. You know, music is different to a lot of people. But absolutely, for sure, some people, you know, wherever we are doing gigs, people are always talking about what such a great impression, for example, the Epicus album did on them. So that's, of course, an ambition. And you know, life can be hard, but you need to stay strong and see the light in the tunnel.
Definitely. Now, There's a week to go now until the album is released to your fans. How do you feel right now? Are you someone that still gets nervous after 40 years with a new album coming out, or do you get excited that your fans will be able to listen to the new music after you guys sitting on it for 18 months?
Of course, I'm nervous. You never know exactly what is happening. Is it gonna be? Will they like it or will they not? But I think if they like the Door to Doom album, I think they won't be disappointing listening to Sweet Evil Son.
Definitely. Now I want to talk to you as well about the artwork for this album. It looks absolutely amazing, and I know that Eric did the artwork for you again. Tell us a little bit about that artwork and what your first thoughts were when you saw the artwork for the album.
Yeah, I'm not that involved in the artwork. We have copies of what he's doing, and we can have a look at it. And Leif is very much into the the mood, though the art is coming from Eric. So, and in my opinion too, he does a great job. He really finds the way it should be in a way.
And I'm looking right now at on the Die Hard vinyl pack as well. That looks absolutely amazing. Your fans have got to own a copy of that, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do want the old styles of an album. Some pictures and stuff like that. It makes it even more interesting in a way.
It doesn't feel like you're listening to an album unless you've got something to hold. That's always been my belief with it.
I didn't get you that. Dave, there is something I have to say. I've got a schedule here, and there should be someone calling me, just if he's calling me up.
Okay.
It said 9... Yeah, no, I'm wrong. Sorry. It was 9:40.
That's great. Yeah,
Sorry for that.
We've just got a couple of minutes left, I think.
I just woke up, so I'm slow in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got a couple of minutes left.
Okay, shoot.
So the next question I had was, what are your plans now going forward over the next couple of months? The world is open back up again. Will you be looking to get out there and do some shows now for this album?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a couple of shows left this year, actually. And our ambition for the next year is to do a lot of festival, but as you probably know, there is a problem because there are so many bands standing in line for the festivals since the COVID period.
Yeah.
But we really do want to go out there again and do a lot of shows. That's what we all want.
Definitely. And now to finish up so that you're ready for the next interview, what would you like to say to all of your fans out there before they go out and grab a copy of this album in a week's time?
Enjoy music in one way or another, and if you like the Door to Doom album, I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointing listening to this one.